Hi everyone, I've been playing XIA Legends of a Drift System. I've just about got the rules down, and in this little playthrough my ship just got blown up. So I'm going to set up a game. Why don't you come and join me at the table and we'll learn how to play this together. So I'm going to clear all this away. This was my ship. And we'll set things up again. Kind of the same. But there's a random setup. XIA Legends of the Drift is a very random game. There's no getting away from that. But it's a rich storytelling game of space exploration, combat, pirating and trading. This is kind of like, if you remember Elite, I think there's a new game. I'm quite old, so I'm going back to my Spectrum days when I had Elite on the Spectrum. Gosh, was I obsessed with that game back when I was a kid. This is like that. If you remember Merchants of Venus, that was another game from years ago. I think it was Fantasy Flight that did the last production. It's out of print now. But XIA Legends of the Drift kind of fills Legends of the Drift system here. It kind of fills that gap that Merchants of Venus left behind. And it's very sandboxy. So you can go and explore, you can go and trade, you can be a pirate, you can take on roles that you feel you want to do to achieve victory points. So the aim of the game is to get what they call fame points, is to achieve fame. And you can do so in lots of different ways. So we're going to learn to play as we play. We have to use the Embers of a Forsaken Star expansion. This is where the solo rules come in. All right. So it is an expensive entry level into this game. There's the base game and then the expansion. There is a missions and powers mini expansion. I've left this out actually because this is just more variability. So I'm not ready for this extra variability just yet. There's extra powers on ships and missions that you can take on. Missions are a means to fame points. There is another little expansion which is the Cell Sword, which is another NPC. There's NPCs in the game and they play a key role in the solo game. So there's the Cell Sword Mark II, which is an extra NPC. And we will be using that. It may not come in. It depends what happens in the way we explore. Right, so let's clear up and let's get set up and let's start playing. Okay, we're ready to go. Ready to get set up. We're going to be playing the Puddle Jumper. This is our starting ship. We've got a whole bunch to choose from. And each comes with its own ability. So I recommend you start with the Easy Tiger. We're going to go for Puddle Jumper. Right, and let's dive straight in and learn to play as we play. This is the planet Near, the centre of our universe in this game. Near is a dying white dwarf around which orbits the Kiln. The Kiln is a hub of trade and commerce. This is somewhere we can go and sell a precious good called Ember. Now, just before we set up our ship, the Puddle Jumper, I've chosen the Puddle Jumper incidentally in honour of my pal Rob Oren from Rob's Tabletop World. Rob taught me this game on his YouTube channel. Go and check it out. So before we set up the Puddle Jumper, Rob used the Puddle Jumper in his playthrough. We need to finish setting up the system that surrounds the Near sector. So we've got a random stack. We're just going to draw from here tiles until we get 2 spawn points. These white circular with a number. This is a spawn point. I need 2 of those and at least 4 tiles. That's 1, 2. There you go. There's a second one, and we need a 4th tile, and that will complete another spawn point. That will complete our collection. All right. Now in solo, I've seen a lot of people do this wrongly actually, and I've assumed you have to set up in a certain configuration. You don't. We can choose where we're going to spawn, and in setup solo you can configure these however you wish. So I'm going to kind of set these up. We do have to line up. We do have to line up things, but in any kind of way, I might just do this, and this gives me some options. I'm just going to rotate this just so I've got a pathway through here, this. Yeah, I think this is fine. This should be interesting. I think we'll try and get Kempler 2 over here, so it's a long way from Azure. Okay, that's the plan. It'll all make sense once we get going. Kempler 2 and Loth are two sectors that we need to find for the beginning of the game because they're going to be used by our NPCs. So now that we've gone through that initial setup, we've got at least 2 spawn points and 4 tiles. We need to go and find Loth and Kempler 2. There's Kempler 2 and there's Loth. I'll give these a quick shuffle. So these we're going to add 5 random sectors. Give these a shuffle. So we know that Loth and Kempler 2 are coming out soon. They're going to be in the top 7 tiles. So as we explore and this universe expands, when these planets appear, these NPCs will appear. They go on top of the stack and we're ready to go. I'll explain those sorts of things as we get going. There's 6 types of goods that we can trade, as well as Ember, which was introduced in the Embers of a Forsaken Star. There's Spice, Plasma, Cyber, Terra and Hollow. So 5 other types of goods. And there's an economy board that controls the prices and the supply and demand of those different types of cargo that we can carry, buy and sell. And at the start of the game, we're going to randomize that market. So the way we do that, we throw a d6, we choose where we're going to start. Let's start up here with Terra. There's a 5. So we get 5 Terra, 1 Hollow. That's not great. 1 Spice. Oh my golly. 1 Plasma. And 4 Cyber. That's dreadful. So we've got small economy. But you can also find different types of resources dotted about. We've got these discovery tokens. And if you'll notice on these sector tiles, there's a discovery token icon. We're going to populate these face down. So we don't know what's there, but it could be more of these resources. There's a whole bunch of new discovery tokens in the Embers expansion. This is the fame point track. You can choose your victory points. So if you want a short game, a medium short game, a medium long game, or a long game, I'm going to go for just a medium short game in this, and we're going to race to 10 fame points. But you can put this wherever you wish. Okay, 11 if you want, 14. It's up to you, entirely up to you. Let's play to 10 points. That's our target. Now, as I said, the aim of the game is to score fame. How do we score fame? It says on this little reference card: exploring, completing missions, destroying ships in combat, trading, upgrading your ship, just wealth, earning lots of money, performing an achievement of some kind. Events, relics, things that you can discover, and then pure luck. There's also luck involved. This is a luck-driven game. Well, you're going to be using a d20, and if you roll a natural 20 on there, you just gain a fame point, just pure luck. All right, so that's how we're going to win. It's very, like I say, sandboxy. We're going to just travel around this system, visiting different planets, buying and selling, pirating, whatever we want to do, complete missions, whatever we think is the best way to score fame. And it's very much determined by what sectors come out, what events come out, what missions come out. It really is a brilliant story-driven game. And just setting up is exciting. You don't know what's going to happen. I can't wait to show you. Now, strictly speaking, set your economy board up first, then choose your ship, because you may choose a different ship depending on what economy comes up. If the economy's small and the sectors don't look like a good trading opportunity, you might choose a different ship. If trading looks rich, you might choose a big trading ship with lots of cargo. So set up your system, set up your economy, then choose your ship. Another thing you're going to do before you choose your ship is reveal a title. So this title may influence what your decision is going to be. Different titles are going to come out as the game goes on. So this one says, cold as ice, keeping your cool. To claim this title, be the first player to repair your ship when ice damage fills at least half your ship's hold. Okay, we'll come to that. And then if we claim this title, we get a special action. Okay, and this gives 1 fame point. Okay, there's a single fame point. Every time you see this FP, that's fame. Now I've chosen to be the green player, so our green token is on 0 at the moment. We're unknown. All right, so that's our title currently. We're an unknown entity, just starting out down the long road to infamy. So we've got a green token here. Red is going to represent the NPCs. You can use one of the 4 colours. Puddle Jumper has 4 green markers here, and we've also got an energy track that starts full of energy. All right, we've got an impulse token here. I'll come to that in a little bit. And this is our ship, and this is our hold. Okay, now this will get damaged. So cold as ice, that title says repair ice damage, which is going to come from ice asteroids, which we don't have revealed right now. So here's our hold. Our hold size is 10. Each one of these spaces with a cube symbol is a space in our hold. Now we're going to outfit our ship. Normally you begin with 3,000 credits. Each one of these metal tokens is 1,000 credits. In the solo game, the normal difficulty, you begin with 4,000 credits. If you want a harder challenge, start with 2. In your first game, an easier challenge, start with 6,000 credits. How we choose to outfit our game. So we begin the game, we can outfit our ship how we wish. So, for example, we could put an engine. We probably want an engine. Okay. There's 3 tiers of each type of outfit. 3 tiers, a tier 1, a tier 2, a tier 3. And they're different shapes, and they've got a different number on them. This represents the die that you roll when you want to use the outfit. So the M22 engine uses a D6, the Halon engine uses a D8, and the Raptor K engine uses a D12. We can choose to buy one of these engines with our starting credits. Right, so that's engines. There's also shields. This help us take damage or protect us from damage. We've also got weapons. We've got blasters. So these are like short range weapons. And then we've got long range missiles as well. Okay? Tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Now you can see my ship has got limited hold space. It has to fit on these spaces like so. But then if I take that, I won't have room for the Targ shield. There's nowhere it will fit. Do you see? In fact, no shields at all would fit. Right, so you've kind of got this little puzzle of trying to fit things on your ship. Now as we explore, we can buy new ships. There's plenty to choose from. Okay? Buying a new ship with a bigger hold is a way to get more stuff, become more powerful. That's how we evolve our game. The expansion adds a couple of other little things. We've got extra hold space. This is a cargo pod, and this is armor plating. Now these are pretty cool because only one space, they kind of extend your hold. Only the green space with the arrow needs to be inside your ship. So for example, if I wanted to get extra space for cargo, only this green space square needs to be on my ship. The 3 purple ones can be outside, right? If I've extended the cargo hold of my ship. So I probably want an engine, I probably want a shield. I might not need a blaster. Do I want a blaster? Maybe I need to make some money first. The Targ shield, that's another 1,000 credits. There's these little mods as well that you can add, that the expansion embers added. And I'd quite like some of these. So for example, the GTS gives a boost to your engines. I'll show you how this works when we get there. So that's 1, 2, 3. And I quite like the M computer as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4,000 credits spent. Doing your initial ship build is all part of the fun. Now we're going to need a lot of space. This is going to expand. So as I'm playing, this universe is going to expand. I'm going to push some bits off to the side, all right, as we need space. For now, we've completed setup. We've built our ship. We're ready to begin our adventure. And the first thing we need to do is choose a spawn point for our ship. Where is the puddle jumper going to jump in? I think here at the Burning Horse Nebula. The dense solar fogs that accumulate around the more volatile regions of the Burning Horse Nebula were the perfect spot to hide an advanced weapons research facility. The out-of-the-way location, coupled with the fact that the nebula made it almost impossible to penetrate with scans, ensured it was hidden for the entirety of the war. Tech enthusiasts seek out this behemoth of metal and science to peer beyond the present and glimpse the future. So how does this game play? We have a turn. It's called the action phase, where we use these markers to trigger our ship to do stuff, act it out in the drift system here. We can move, we can attack, explore, draw missions, buy, sell cargo queues, other stuff. Okay. Once we've completed all our turns, we enter the business phase. If we've landed on a planet, we can recharge our ships, repair damage, buy and sell, change our outfits, all that kind of stuff. If we're not on a planet, we can't do that. We can't repair our ship. We can't recharge our ship. We can't modify. Right? You have to be on a planet. So with or without the business phase, you then conclude your turn with the status phase. Okay, that's kind of when you refresh stuff, begin a game. Right? Next player goes. In the solo game, that means the NPCs get to go. And then we begin again, back to us and the action phase. So let's fire up our engines. Let's take a move action. There's two ways for us to move. We can move using our impulse. We've always got impulse. So even if we didn't buy any engines, we could still move. And we could move 4 spaces once per turn by spending our impulse. We'll come back to that. Alternatively, we can use one of these armed markers and place it on one of these yellow octagonal spots on one of our outfits. In this case, our engine outfits. The engines let us move. Triggering our engines to move means we roll a 1d6, and that's the number of spaces we get to move. Now this GTS unit here, that we paid an extra 1,000 credits for, when adjacent to an engine, gives us a +2. So if we roll a 1, that becomes a 3. And that's why that's so great. It's always going to give us a minimum of 3 movement with this engine and the GTS in place. Now, we can never go above the maximum. So if I roll a 6, the +2 just, it peaks out at 6. All right, so 6 is always the max on this engine. All right, let's roll our engines. Let's see what we get. It's a 1. So we get to move 3 spaces. So where are we going to go? This pink border is the border of a nebula. We can fly through a nebula border, but it's going to drain energy. I'm okay with that. So with our 3 movement, I'm going to clock that up to 3, so we see what we've got. I'm going to move through into this nebula. 1, 2, 3. Crossing that border is going to drain our energy. How much energy it drains is determined by the roll of a 20-sided die. So let's roll the d20. If we roll a 1 to 10, we subtract that number of energy. If we roll 11 to 20, no effect. We rolled a 16, we're good. We managed to pass through the nebula with no drain. Once we're inside the nebula, then we can move around freely. Let's use our engines once more. 1d6 plus 2 because of the GTS. GTS is a gravitational thrust stabilizer. 2. So now we've got 4 movement. I'm going to head towards this discovery token. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I've stopped on the way. I've passed over this triangle with an exclamation mark. This is called a mission point. When we pass on to or over a mission point, we can draw new mission cards. Now this is called a minor action. So we had 4 movement. We've used 1 to move here. It's called a minor action because we can draw missions and then continue with our major action, which is moving. We can draw missions and then continue moving with our 3 movement. Right? So this minor action, it just interrupts and then you can carry on. Now in the solo game, what happens is when you decide to draw missions, you draw 3 mission cards, choose 1, discard the rest. Right, so here they are, 1, 2, 3. We can look at these now. Okay, we can look at them now. If we already had a mission, we couldn't take this mission action. We'd have to pass by and not draw any cards, right? Because the maximum number of missions you can carry is 1. Okay, if you've already got an active mission, you can't draw any more. You either have to discard it, and then you can draw. Okay, if you discard, you can discard a mission at any time, right? Once you've drawn it, so you discard, then draw. But what you can't do is, I've got an active mission, pass over, draw 3, have a look, see if I like it. If I do, then discard. Right? If you want to draw a new mission, you must have no missions already. So you've got to kind of gamble a little bit. If you don't like your current mission, you've got to throw it, draw 3 more, then pick one. It might be something better, it might be something worse. Now, I've got a mod on my ship. It's called the M-Comp. The mission computer says I'm not limited to 1 mission at a time. I can take up to 3. I've got a +2. I can take 3 missions, 3 active missions. This is good. I've decided what my strategy is going to be. So I still only take 1 of these, but then if I pass over another mission point, I can take another, and then another. Right, so I can do this up to 3 times. I'm not limited by just the 1. All right, let's have a look at them, see what they are. Okay, we've got Coerce, Arms Dealer, and Shuttle. These red ones are outlaw missions. The blue ones are lawful missions. This lawful mission is a simple pick up and deliver. We have to pick up some passengers at the mission point at Outpost 338 and deliver them to the mission point and on Lunari. We've not found these 2 systems yet. These 2 missions are outlaw missions, and the reason why is if we complete them, so this arms dealer one says, for example, pick up a missile outfit and deliver it to Neo Vostok. Depending on what we deliver, we're going to get a certain number of credits, but we're going to pick up a bounty. If we pick up a bounty, that goes here, that will be credits on the bounty spot. We become an outlaw, and particularly NPCs, like the Enforcer, are going to hunt us down and try and take us out for our bounty. Okay, we're Crims, they're the good guys. So, do we want to be a bad guy and go for the outlaw route, or do we want to take the lawful shuttle route? The rewards here are much greater. Coerce is the other one. It says target a player on our left, and we have to attack them. Now, the solo rules, we decide when NPCs enter play where they sit around the table, to our left or to our right. Okay, so we get to decide. I might take this Coerce mission. Deliver the results to Samara Gate. I don't know if, that could be right on the bottom of the stack. I may never be able to do it, but at least I've got it as an option, right? I'm not a bad guy just because I've accepted this mission. Right, these are discarded. And this is why I like that mission computer. It means I can keep my options open by having various missions. All right, we've got 3 movement left. Now, incidentally, you might have noticed I got these little gemstones. These are not included with the game. I've just picked these up and grabbed them myself. But you can only use, and these are just to help me with the video, you can only use 1 mission point once per turn. So I can't come over this mission point and use it again and grab more missions. So this is just to help me as a visual aid. I've used that mission point, I can't use it again. Right, I've got 3 movement points left. I'm going to use them like this, 1, 2, 3. And I've landed on this discovery token. I'm going to take this discovery token, flip it over, see what it is. It's some plasma, and we'll put this on our puddle jumper. We take the cube. Now this comes from the supply, right, not the economy board. So I'm going to place this in our hold. Is there any way we can sell this? I don't think there is. No, there's no way we can sell it. but there's not much in the economy. So right, so we've got some stuff. We'll keep this little token here because if we collect another one, that'll earn us fame. Remember, ways to earn fame is through exploration. Discard 2 exploration tokens for 1 fame point. So we'll keep this here to remind us that we've got one already. Right, that's all our movement used up. Now I could go back here and try and harvest some hollow from the Burning Horse Nebula. So why don't we do that? Why don't we do this? Use another armed marker on our engine. I don't need to roll the die because I know it's going to give me at least +2. So I'm going to go into here, and the Burning Horse says roll a d20. On a 1 to 10 our energy drops, but on 11 to 20 we find a hollow cube. So let's roll the die. It's a 15. We've got a hollow cube, and again this comes from the supply. Place this in our hold. Our hold is now full. Now we've used all the spots on our engine. We can't move again. But we've got our impulse token. Okay, so let's do this as another action. It doesn't use an armed spot because we're not using one of these outfits on our ship. We might save this for a shield. We're going to flip our impulse token, and because our impulse is 4, we get 4 movement. With that 4 movement, I'm going to move here. Now, strictly speaking, I've got 2 movement left. I've used 1, 2. I had 4 for my impulse, and now I've got a choice. I can either stop and waste my movement. I've got no more engines left. I've used my impulse. I couldn't move. I'm going to end my turn in the Burning Horse. Or, as a minor action, I can do what's called a blind jump. Blind jump means I take a leap of faith into an unexplored sector with my 2 movement. There could be anything there. It could be a star that's going to swallow me up and destroy my ship. It could be empty space. It could be perfectly safe. It could be another asteroid field that I've wandered into and take damage. So this is a massive risk. If I want to, as a minor action, just continue moving, take a blind jump. Now, I'm on the edge here, so I've got 2 ways I can go. I can go this way, or I can go this way. The other option is I just stop here, and as another major action, I scan ahead. It costs 1 energy. Remember, I've got full energy at the moment. It costs 1 energy, so I'd go down to 9, and I could just scan ahead, place a tile, and then see what it is, and then decide whether to move. Now, I can't move again. My impulse is used, my engines are used. I'm stuck here in the Burning Horse if I do that. So, what do? Do I use my 2 movement and move out of here into some unknown space, which might be unsafe, unlawful, anything, destroy my ship? This is the thrill seeker's choice. And you know what? I think I'm going to do it. I can hear you all crying. Do it, Ricky. Come on, blind jump. So, we take a tile. Do I do this? Do I do this? Yeah, come on, we'll do it. We'll do it. I decide which way I want to go. I can go this way or I can go this way. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go this way. I'm trying to get as far away from Azure as I can. But we'll come to that later. Yeah, let's do it. We're going to blind jump. So we've got 2 movement left. This could all go horribly wrong. Whatever tile I flip over now determines my destiny. Oh, it's Kemplar 2. It's Kemplar 2. Right, this might be bad news. Kemplar 2 is a lawful safe planet. That's absolutely fine. But I've got to line up, see these little symbols around the outside. Now that I'm exploring, and I'm blind jumping, scanning ahead, I've got to line these symbols up with this one. This one's like a T, so I'm looking for the T. There's a square here, there's a circle here, there's a triangle here, there's a half curve here, straight line. T, there it is. I line the T up. Crossing a planetary shield is not lawful. This is called a planetary shield. There's only one lawful way into a lawful planet, and that's through the planet entrance. Okay? Sail around here, enter the planet, announce your entrance. Perfectly lawful. Crossing the shield can A, do damage, and B, put a bounty on your head. So we've just taken a huge risk, and potentially we've become an outlaw and taken damage. So before we go any further, we're going to have to go back, do a check with our 1d20. Now we don't have to check coming out of a nebula, you only check going in, but we'll have to check going across this planetary shield. So how do we do that? On the back of the rulebook is actually a handy reference. On a 1 to 10, the move is prevented and we take damage. On 11 to 17, we can move through, but we pick up a bounty. Yeah, they've detected us. On an 18 to 20, or if you go through the entrance, it's lawful. Okay. If you've already got a bounty, then you can't enter a lawful planet. Right, let's see what happens. We've rolled a 5. Our entry is prevented. We don't pick up a bounty, but we can't move in. And we pick up 5 damage. Ouch. These are the damage tokens. So we've picked up 5 of these, and we've lost a movement point. Right, we crashed into that planetary shield with 1 of our movement. Oh dear. We do have shields, but damage from planetary shields is not blockable by your shields. It can block energy loss. Your shields can block energy loss from nebulae, but not from planetary shields. We're taking 5 damage. And we've got to place this on our ship. Now the good news is we get to decide where to place this energy. So inadvertently our shields could help us, because we could place 1 here and 1 here. We could put 1 here instead, you know, and we can still use our shields. They're less productive. If we put 1 here, it doesn't destroy the outfit, just makes it unusable. We could take out our mission computer, put a damage here. If we placed it here where this cargo is, that cargo would be jettisoned. We possibly don't want to jettison our cargo. If we place it here, then where this arm marker is, then that marker goes to a disarmed spot. So we could do that, damage our engines. So it means we're going to be limping around the place a little bit. But I think that's what we're going to do. Things are hotting up, aren't they? And we've failed to blind jump into Kepler 2. But our turn's not necessarily over. We do have lots of energy on our ship. So we could now, although we can't move, we could still scan ahead. This nebula shield doesn't block line of sight, so we can still scan this sector for 1 energy. We've got plenty of energy. So let's do that. Let's spend 1 energy and let's scan ahead here. Draw a new tile. Now we get to see what's in here. And this might be important because if we want to get into Kepler 2 and safely repair our ship, we're going to have to travel potentially around here to the entrance. We can't travel this way. So let's scan this one. It's the keep. Another debris field. So it joins in with the square. So we find the square on here, which is just there. All right. So you're always joining with the tile you're scanning from. Right? It doesn't matter that these 2 don't join up. That's just the dictation. Right? So from the place where your ship is, you always join that edge. Now we're almost done with our turn. I can't move. I can't scan any edges that are further away. You can only scan empty edges like this, where you're adjacent to unexplored territory. I can't move. My engines are down. My impulse is used. But my ship does have a special ability. The puddle jumper has this. As an action, roll a d20. Remember, actions don't cost you anything. It's just an action. It just interrupts the flow of the game. As an action, roll a d20. On a 1 to 4, nothing happens. 5 to 13, receive 2 energy. 14 to 19, 3, 20, revive energy. So I just want to see if I can get from 9 back up to 10. I don't need that energy as it goes, but I'm not on a planet. If you're on a planet, you get your energy back. I'm not on a planet. Remember, you can only do business if you're on a planet. All right, so let's roll a d20 and see if we can get a little bit of that energy back. It's an 18. Remember, rolling the dice is always good, because if you roll the d20 and get a 20, then that's one thing. Okay, we get our energy back to max. Now, once you use your energy scoop, it says in the bottom left, after use, place this card face down until refreshed. Right, so you can only do that once per turn. I think we're done. That's it. So once we're done, we move to the business phase. Business phase only happens if we're on a planet. We're not. So we push to the status phase. At this point, we'd be claiming fame for anything that we've achieved, and then we refresh our ship. So we refresh Puddle Jumper's ability, we can use it again next time. We refresh our impulse token, we can use that next time. So we can still move despite a damaged ship. And also we can arm any of our markers. It costs 1 energy to move one of these markers back to armed. So I can spend 2 energy, move these 2 back here. And also any disarmed markers, 1 energy to make it armed again. If I wanted to, or if I didn't have enough energy, they would remain disarmed. Okay, they would move back into the disarmed spot. If you're on a planet, it doesn't cost energy to do this, it's free. Okay, we're done with our turn. End of a player's turn, system expanse. System expanse is something particular to the solo rules. It's like other players going around and exploring. The universe is going to expand independently of our exploration. So the way this works is we draw a new tile. It's just 1 tile, the system is naturally expanding. And the rules tell us we've got to place it in the spot that's connected to the most existing sectors, which would be here. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's got 3, 3, 2. If there was a tie, you'd get free choice. But this is where it's going. Now we've got to pick a side. It's kind of arbitrary, really. So just pick a side. Let's say here. It needs to go adjacent to the circle. So when we flip it over, we'll just find the circle and line it up here. I could have put this side, it is completely arbitrary. Okay, let's see what it is. It's Vostok, an ice asteroid. I'll tell you about it when we get there. Right, so this goes here. It's got a discovery spot on it, so it needs a discovery token. In fact, there's one here I should have placed, and one here on Kemplar 2. Place them as you reveal them. This has a comet as well. We have some comet miniatures. So this comet is a danger. If we enter here, this comet could crash into our ship. That's our turn complete. So now we move to the NPC turn. First thing we need to do is check, do any of the NPCs spawn? I think they do. If we look at our NPCs, you ignore everything on here apart from the spawn instructions. So the Enforcer will spawn when Kemplar 2 is discovered. Okay, so we should have done that. Kemplar 2, and it's going to spawn over here on the spawn point. We get to choose, do we want this Enforcer to sit to our left or to our right? Let's have it sit to our right here, that makes it easier. So Enforcer is going to be first player, first of the NC players. The merchant says, place the merchant on the 2nd planet in the trade route to be discovered. Dorovin 5, not discovered. Azur, Azur, yes, discovered. Kemplar 2, yes, discovered. Near Damascus, not discovered, and Lunari, not discovered. So the merchant is also going to come into play and is going to spawn on the 2nd planet discovered here is Kemplar 2. So the spawn point's occupied. We can decide where to place it. It has to be on an adjacent spot. So let's pop him here. Any one of these 3 spots would do. It's up to us. So our merchant goes 2nd. And then the scoundrel will spawn when Loth is discovered. We haven't discovered Loth yet, so we'll just keep the scoundrel to one side. The scoundrels come into play with 2,000 bounty, and this little marker shows that it's an outlaw. Okay, so we're going to have the scoundrel come last. The sellsword will spawn when Smuggler's Den is discovered. Okay, so Smuggler's Den is not available yet. So let's do Enforcer and Merchant. When an NPC comes into play, you have to select a behavior for it. So for the Enforcer, there's 2 to choose from, and for the Merchant, there's 2 to choose from. Let's do the Enforcer first. Each of these cards has 2 behaviors. All right, so there's actually 4 different behaviors. Let's roll a d8. We'll call that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll roll the die. We've rolled a 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is this one, Diligent. So the the Enforcer is Diligent. The Enforcer says that he's going to target an outlaw with the most bounty. Danger if we become outlaw. That behavior is discarded. Now for the Merchant, we'll do the same. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Roll the d8. It's a 1. So the Merchant's going to be a collector. Now the other thing that needs to come in is NPC stats. We've got side A and side B. Side A is for easy mode and side B is for hard mode. We're in normal mode, right? So we're going to use side A and then we flip when we're halfway to victory. All right. So that's the NPC stats. They determine how they move, attack, what shields they have, and how much it takes to kill them. So the Enforcer first. It says the Enforcer is diligent and is going to target the outlaw with the most bounty. There is no outlaw with the most bounty, so he's doing nothing. All right, he's just going to sit here and wait and just going to hang out until he spots or hears about an outlaw in the drift system. The Merchant is going to target the buy space on the next trade route planet. He's at Kemplar 2, so the next trade route planet is going to be, follow this line and then you wrap around from right to left, is going to be Azure. Okay, so he's going to target the buy spot on the Azure planet. I'm just going to set this token up so I can see where he's headed. He's headed to the buy spot. So that's the Merchant's target. So the next thing he's going to do is his behavior. It says move to target. If arrived, buy 1 cargo. And if he's got 3 cargo on board, +1 fame for the NPCs. All right, so it's a ship that likes collecting cargo. So its movement is given by this card. So for the Merchant, it's got a movement of 9. Now this Merchant is a peaceful trader. He's going to avoid conflict and he's going to try and establish a trade route. Now we've been clever and got, or lucky, one or the other. We've got a long way away from his target, which is the buy spot. And obviously another planet may come out right next to Kempler or Azure and may shorten that trade route. For now though, this Merchant's going to make his way. And he's got to go this way. He's going to avoid planetary shields. He's going to avoid asteroids. Nebulae don't affect NPCs, so we'll just pass through the Burning Horse if it needs to. Right, it's looking for the shortest route possible. So 9. We can move through other ships. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's heading this way. He's avoiding these debris fields. He'll avoid these asteroid fields. Now at the moment, there's no safe route through to Azure because of the way I set the board up. He can't get to that planet except through the Planetary Shield. So NPCs will break the rules and pass through a Planetary Shield. Unfortunately for the Merchant, that could blow him up. He's just going to keep bashing his head against this thing like a madman. But remember, System Expanse is going to fill this spot and is going to fill this spot. So there will be a natural path opening up next turn. So it probably won't come to that. Okay, that's NPC turn completed. We've got one final step before we end the round, and that is NPCs gain fame. It doesn't matter if there's any NPCs in play or not. Even if we haven't spawned any, this would still happen. And we roll a d20. If there was any cubes out on the board, any bounty, you'd be doing some mods to this dice, but we'll come to that when we get there. And also if they were behind in fame, but we've not managed to achieve any fame yet, so they're not behind. So it's just a straight up roll. And we mod, so 1 to 3 they get 0, 4 to 14, 1, 15 to 20 they'll get 2 fame. Let's see what happens. We've rolled a 3. Oh, we are lucky. 0 fame points. We are lucky. Right, nothing moves. Wow, that's a great start. Join me next time then as we continue round 2. And we'll pick up the pace a little bit and we'll start exploring. I think we've got the basics of the game down. Let's see what we can do. Can we rescue our little puddle jumper? Can we make it out of the burning horse safely to Kemplar 2 where we can repair and refit our ship? Hopefully we'll pick up some more missions once we've repaired our mission computer. So that actually is cleared away. We can go to this mission spot again. Just can't visit the same one twice on the same turn. But we might want to move through this debris field instead, or this ice asteroid field. Or even maybe explore different directions. Who knows? Lots of options for us. So join me next time as we continue XIA, the Legends of a Drift System, and find out.